Episode. This is your weekly dose of 1% where I share how you can create a healthy CEO mindset for yourself, your household, your career, and your life. My name is Meggin Anderson, and I am a mom of three, a fitness professional, a business owner. I started my online fitness business in 2013 while simultaneously becoming a stay-at-home mom for the first time and found myself feeling pressure to choose between my business, being healthy and fit, becoming a mom, and taking care of our household. But what I found was that I didn't have to choose and that I could, in fact, have all of the things, my cake and eat it too, so to speak, right? So I created the Healthy CEO episodes and podcasts to share with you how I make it all work. And you do not have to sacrifice any one area to be successful in all the others. So let's get to it. I am excited about this episode today because I started a brand new adventure, and this is added this extra layer of things for me to do, and thought that this was such perfect timing. And I know I've talked about time blocking and time management and things of that nature before, but this is so interesting to me because I'm finding myself really in the shoes of a lot of the women and a lot of clients that I talk to lately about finding time. And the reason why I say that, I mentioned I took on a another adventure, is I started a part-time job inside of our community. And while that might seem a little bit strange, for me, it was kind of one of those things where, when you're hearing something that's happening, or you're seeing a mission or a vision from someone, you get automatically pulled in. And that was my thought. So we have this brand new coffee shop that opened up in our community, and I got the opportunity and the privilege to meet with the owner and hear his vision and his mission for opening this business in our area. He has a couple of others already in several other different places in the New England area, and really just is trying to give back, really just trying to be a light in the community. It is a Christian-based company. And so when he reached out to our church looking for people to connect with, that were involved with the community, that wanted to do more in the community and just be that light, be that shining vibe, I immediately felt really pulled in. I wasn't really sure what capacity that I wanted to get involved, but I knew that I wanted to be involved in some way. I knew that I had it in my wheelhouse to give in this other way. I have always in the back of my mind since we lived here, my bigger future, vision was to build my business, create something where I could also give back into the community. Not really sure in what capacity, but just be there. And so when this opportunity came up, I saw it as a way for me to connect with more moms in our community, with more people, to get to know people that live in our area that I might not otherwise know. And I feel like the other aspect of that is I have worked from home for so long. I've worked from home, as I mentioned. 2013 was when I started my business working from home. And so it's got its pros and cons, but it can be lonely. But when you're busy with the kids and you've got all these things going on, a lot of times you don't really think about it. And I thought more often than not, the perks of just being home, being able to take the kids to where they needed to go and school and all the things, right? And just be there for everybody. And that's really what I wanted when I first started out. Now that the kids are getting a little bit older, I'm finding that I definitely have more time to do the things that I want to do. And then so where does that leave, my being in the community and those kinds of things? So long story short, I joined the company to help them open up their coffee shop in our community over the last couple of weeks, and it's been really fun. I'm feeling super blessed that I have been able to have so many amazing conversations with the people out there. It's pumping me up to have those connections. Previous to me becoming an online health and fitness coach and body partner, my husband and I owned our own business. So I was in customer service. I was in front of the customers all the time. And that was like my wheelhouse, where I would just engage with people and help give them solutions for their businesses. And I love that. I love being able to engage. And so I'm feeling really pumped up, really motivated. And it's also helping me in my online fitness business too, with my clients and other aspects. It's also helped me to feel like I'm in the shoes of my women that I work with that have full-time careers and they're out of the house and they have to balance the work-life life, kids, right thing, because I feel like I've been far removed from actually leaving the home for many, many years, right? So this has been awesome. And so I've really had to dive into my time blocking and my time management. And last week was hard for me. It was hard for me to balance. And I felt like some things were getting away from me and some things I wasn't able to do. But what I found was needing to take a step back and take into consideration and inventory on what I need to do. I have the tools. I know how to do it, and implement those into my own life and then take action on those. So I thought that it would be really great to walk you guys through some of the time blocking exercises that I do, how I create space for myself, what that looks like, and then like my non-negotiables and my priorities so that I can continue to fulfill all the different obligations that I have, being a mom, being a wife, taking care of the house, kids, and then this new part-time opportunity, as well as my online business that I'm growing, a team of leaders, and so on and so forth. I know it sounds like a lot, but it really all kind of goes hand in hand together, which is cool when I think about one thing works with the other. And I think that's a big reason why I love the business so much, is because it's based on taking care of myself. So that aspect is never lost, right? First and foremost is me, my fitness, my sleep, my nutrition, taking care of my mindset. Those things come first with my family. And then I plug in the other things as I go along the way. So what we want to do is start out with our like 3 must-dos, right? So if you are listening, watching, following along with me today, take out a pen and a paper, grab a notebook, and let's dive into how we can create that space, what that time management system can look like for you. And then if you have questions, you can always comment, send me a DM or an email, and we can walk through it together if you're feeling stuck. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is put those 3 non-negotiables, those 3 must-dos, right? So for me, that is my fitness, my family, and my personal growth. Okay. So my non-negotiables, like my mornings are mine, whether I'm teaching my class, doing my workout, my mornings are mine, and I'm not willing to sacrifice those. And so I'm getting up still pretty early to get my things done. Getting up, morning routine is crucial for me because this is a habit that helps me to go to the next step, right? So my clothes are laid out the night before. I get up at 4:45 and grab my clothes in the dark, go downstairs, start my pre-workout, put that together, sit down and do my personal development, my prayers, my devotion. I have the YouVersion Bible app. I love everything on my phone just because it's easy. So no matter where I am and what I'm doing in life, my phone comes with me. I put in my earbuds, open up the Bible app first, jump into the daily word, the word of the day, the phrase, verse of the day. And then it's like really fun because the app actually shows you, it shows you like an order. So I literally, like, my brain doesn't even have to be turned on for me to do this. But when you open up the app, it's got your verse of the day. That was the word I was looking for, verse of the day, and then your guided prayer. And then you can jump into your devotion, any plans that you have. So I love the plans because you literally could pick out anything for whatever time of life you're going through. And I think that's a big one for me too. If you're feeling like you're needing help with your identity or your marriage or your self-esteem, or maybe like leadership, right? There's a lot of times like, I don't understand all of the Bible. We probably never will, right? But I love to read Bible plans that help me to understand a little bit more than that. In addition to being a part of my life groups, that has really helped me with my spiritual journey this year, is just sort of like slowly put the pieces of the puzzle together and what all of that stuff means. So after I'm done with that, I do also have a little journaling, 100 Days to Brave, that I've been journaling out. So check that book out. And then dive into my Kindle and reading. So right now, I just started reading my friend's new book that just came out, Direct Sales Done Right: A Proven Path to Stop Wasting Time and Start Making Meaningful Money, written by Katie Ersta. So you can grab that over on Kindle. So I literally just started it because I just finished a different one about being a freakishly effective leader. And I have so many that I feel like sometimes I'm like, what do you call it? ADHD for Kindle. But I'm reading what I need right in the moment, what I'm feeling right in the moment. I'm actually also going through a precision nutrition, sleep, stress and recovery certification. So I'm also like peppering that in. So what I typically do like is if I have things that I want to or need to get to, I will schedule that out. Like I'll say this day I'm going to read her book. Tomorrow I'm going to do my certification, and because I have this window of opportunity. And then if I can get back to it later in the day, I can do that too. Or if I'm sitting like, visiting my mom or sister and they're reading or whatever, I can dive into something like that with them too. Okay. So that's my morning routine after I'm done reading. And it literally, I'm usually downstairs in my gym doing my workout by 6. So I'm making sure that I'm also watching my time, right? So depending on what you have for time in the morning, you want to schedule and create your morning routine around that. I cannot stress enough how important this morning routine is, right? Because once you start these habits, they're just going to become normal, second nature. It's just going to be part of your day. And before you know it, you're just on autopilot doing the things and doing all that stuff, right? So my first chunk of the day, early, is my workout, my me time, my personal growth, my mindset. I'm getting my mind right. I'm pouring into myself before I can pour into others. I cannot stress enough how important this is. This is how I'm able to do the rest of the day. This me time for me is not selfish. It is helping me to be a better mother. It is helping me to be a better wife. It's helping me to be a better leader, a better coworker, a better everything. Okay, you guys. So when you start your day this way, you are doing your whole circumference of people around you a service, right? My kids are better because I'm able to be a better mom. I'm able to take the things that I'm learning through, whether it's the prayers and the Bible, to the personal growth books that I'm reading, to the mindset growth, helps me to teach them better too, to help them to make better decisions. And they see that I'm a role model to them, right? That I'm into my fitness and I'm into my nutrition, right? So that is the big part of chunk of my morning. Now, when the school year is happening, then usually after my workout, I stop right there and take them off to school, and then I'll calculate the rest of my work day. Just depends on what's happening. For right now, my oldest goes to work, and the other two are kind of hanging around unless we have plans and stuff like that. But the second part of what I do, so my kids and all that stuff comes first, right? So what I do is I will take a notebook. You can take. I have a time blocker that you could use. This is the Chic time blocker. I can give you a link for this. It literally is like Monday through Sunday, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And you see that it's just like a grid. I also have a planner that I use. I like this because it has also some note sections and things, but it's the same idea, right? So what I'll do every weekend, Saturday or Sunday, is I'll look at the week ahead and I'll plug in the things that we have going on. And even while I'm thinking about it here, 6, 7, 8. So college tour is happening August 8th. So I start by plugging in the non-negotiables. So I plug in my workouts and then I look at my calendar. Do we have a doctor's appointment? Is something specific happening with a kid or somewhere that they have to be, and those kinds of things. And then I plug in my appointments that I have or any type of calls like Zooms or meetings that I have. I also block out the nighttime for family dinner. Like I put that stuff in, I schedule in if we want to have date night or taking the kids out. I have things plugged in this week. My daughter's having a friend come, our cousin, and so I'm making sure that I'm able to take them to. They're going to go to a movie, want to go mini golfing, like all that stuff. So that's all plugged into here, and then. Also, then if I have availability, I'm really blessed with this new job that I can let them know when I'm available. And typically it's like the chunks in the middle of the day. And luckily that's their most busiest time. So I'm able to really help them out and able to get in and out and then get back to home before the dinner time hour. But let's say, for example, you work a 9-to-5 job, right? So that's a non-negotiable for you. So you want to plug that part into your planner. You're not available to do anything else if you're at your job from 9 to 5, right? And then you schedule in sleep, and you schedule in showers and eating, and then it's sort of like you see what you have left over to work with, right? I know that when we first started doing this time blocking exercise, I saw how much time I was wasting, and how much time I actually could do more. And waking up earlier was one of those things, because I was like, okay, think about how much I could get done before my kids were even up, right? And the other big part of that too was, before I started my morning routine, I was just letting them wake me up, and the day started off as like chaos, and it was crazy. It was like I wasn't running the day was running me. And so it was awesome to be able to actually sit down and plan out and know what's coming, right? So now, like, especially with the summer, I've told the kids, let's plan like a fun activity every week. What do you guys want to do? And I can say, okay, we can go this day, or this chunk of time, or that chunk of time. And we can work ourselves around there. So, really wanting to just share with you guys that, when we talk about healthy CEO and having it all and all of that stuff, and it really comes down to being just really efficient with my time. So, when I look at the time that I do have available to work on my business and to do things like this, I literally set myself timers and say, okay, I'm only allowing myself 10 minutes for this, and then I'm going to move on. I only allow myself 10 minutes for that, and then I move on. Really blessed to have a tracking checklist that I use when I am working on my business. So it literally tells me what are the things that I need to do today to move my fitness business forward, my body partner business forward. What are the things that I need to do, and how much time I need to spend on those? And that way, it's also really incredible for me to be able to teach and mentor my leaders, and let them know that you don't need 24 hours. You don't work the business 24/7. You're not on social media 24/7. Like, you literally can do it in chunks of time and pockets of time. Before, when I was at home with the kids, the cool part about having this list would be like, you're going along doing the things, and all of a sudden someone's like, I want a snack, or you get interrupted, and like then hours go by and you come back and you're like, where was I? You can look at your list and see where you left off. And so, if you did not miss, I talked about a lot of this stuff in my behind the scenes sneak peek on Friday, and talked in depth about the business opportunity, how to earn in part-time hours, and the different levels of partners that you can become. And so, if you have not seen that and you're interested in learning a little bit more about earning some part-time income from home, let me know, and we'll hook you up with those videos. But we talk about this. We talk about how I mentor my leaders, that this business should not take up your whole world. Like, we got into this business in order to find freedom. That was what drew me in from the beginning. Was when my husband and I ran our own business for 13 years. Like, first to go in, last to go home. The kids were in daycare, last to get paid. We had inventory and overhead and rent and utilities and all these things. And they were long days. There was little time for myself, let alone the kids. And I was burnt out and stressed out. And it was like, go, 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 hamster wheel, day after day after day. And so when I saw the opportunity here, I saw the opportunity for freedom. I wasn't even thinking about the type of income that I could make, that I could provide for my family. I knew that I could make something, but really it was the freedom that drew me in. It was the freedom to be able to schedule my own time on my own hours, whatever that looked like for me, and be the mom that I always wanted to be at home, but also crush it in the business world too, right? Like, that was a big thing for me as well. I think about that all the time. Like, I want to have a career. I want to be in front of customers. I want to be that person that's out there. I want all the things. And why is that not possible? And it is possible. When you're more efficient and when you're more focused, then you can drill into that, right? And that's how I lead my leaders is, you don't need all the time in the world. We kind of match your goals with the time you have, and we're realistic about that, right? So if you're like, I only have an hour a day, okay, well, you just have to realize that your goals are not going to be as grand as someone that has, 3 hours a day or something to that effect, right? And we want to be realistic about that. And the thing about this business too is that it's not a get rich quick overnight anything. It really does take time. It's sales. It's sales. So you're building that foundation. You're creating that sales funnel. You're building relationships with people, and ultimately will result in a relationship and a buy and a purchase, and the growth of your team. So, okay, so to recap, we are starting off with your 3 must-dos. So number one is to choose your 3 must-dos. What are those? What do those look for you? For me, it's my health and my fitness, my family and my personal growth, my personal faith journey, and all of that stuff. Those things are number one must-dos in my day. And then after that, I take my blank planner. Here comes the dog to give her 2 cents. I take my planner and I plug in the non-negotiables. Am I working? What does that look like? Do we have appointments? When am I sleeping? When am I eating? Right? Like, taking care of yourself always needs to come first. And then you fill in the holes with the other things that you want to accomplish throughout the day. And then the last part of that is being efficient. Use a timer, right? Set a timer. I can only spend 10 minutes on XYZ and then I need to move on, right? I feel like I could spend hours and hours on my personal growth reading and some of this stuff. And this was my life before, when summers past, I would get sucked into whatever I was reading and I would look down and go, oh my gosh, it's 9 o'clock and I haven't even worked out yet. Right. And so that's how we, and same thing, like, for example, you're scrolling social media, right? And you're like, oh, or watching Netflix, right? Like, make those times, like, time that for yourself, make those appointments, and then stick to it. Right. And it's not always going to be perfect. Like, this is laid out here, but it's not always perfect. And some days are worse than others. But if I get my 3 must-dos and I take care of those 3 things, the rest falls into place and I just feel good about the day. Okay. All right, you guys. So I hope that was helpful. Drop me a message if you need help or have questions. And